remember when we were strong. Back in the days before King Tenebrae and his royal guard, and the people of Amosran took up their own arms for fun and profit. Before all that, there was just us, the Viridian Outriders. We kept the roads and trails safe and secure, with homes and forts scattered about and locales civilized and not. Time passed, and we have been replaced. And yet, I hear the rumblings and murmurs of the roads being less safe than they had been. Monsters sniffing around in smaller towns and magic acting oddly. Who knows? Maybe we'll be needed again. Hello, and welcome back to Another Path. My name is Chase, and I remain your GM. Today, Harper gets a talking to, then puts her abilities to the test. The next couple of episodes are going to be individual character focused, and I think you're going to really like them. Thank you to our backers, Kyle, Rin, and Savani for their support. If you like what you hear, consider donating to us at patreon.com/ghostlightmedia, and maybe try checking out some of the other shows on the network. But with that, sit back, relax, and enjoy your trip down another path. The next day, you and the rest of the Outriders pack up and head out early in the morning. True to Lucca's word, you actually take the roads properly this time. It's only about a week travel on the road, and especially with your newest companion in tow, Lucca especially sees the wisdom in maybe taking things a little bit more conventionally, as it were.
That's my night captain right there.
It's the morning of the third day that you're on the road, and everybody is packing up. The smell of last night's campfires still hangs heavy in the air. You've spent pretty much all of the previous night working on your breastplate, that junker that you picked up. Why don't you go ahead and tell me what kind of roll you want to make to repair this thing.
I would wager this is in the realm of Smith's tools. This is kind of what that tool proficiency is designed for.
Yep.
This is the fun question where we get to figure out what stat is associated with this check. Because smithing is a working man's sort of attribute. But like also you have to have the know-how.
Yeah.
To know what to do. So like obviously my intelligence is better than my strength, but I could see the argument for either.
I was gonna say intelligence. The way that I want to do this.
Yeah.
And if you agree with me, I think this is the fun way to do this.
Okay.
Every few days, I am going to have you make a roll.
Okay.
And essentially what you are trying to do is, these rolls will tally up over time.
Okay.
And so you are trying to hit 50 total over time.
Oh my god, Chase.
I saved you how much gold on this breastplate?
Like 250.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I'm going for just like high roll as possible.
Exactly.
All right. I get it. Hey. Starting off decently strong with a nat 13.
Okay.
Making that plus my proficiency bonus, which has gone up recently. So that's a dirty 20.
There we go.
I'm going to put 20 on my notes and not remember what that's here. I'll do 20 out of 50. That's smart. All right. I'm also going to do just point of order. I'm going to unmount the Boo Blaster from Ignis.
Yeah.
That can live in the shell. Did we have to like turn those back in actually?
You very specifically left in enough of a huff.
Okay.
That I'm going to say you did, intentionally or not, you did steal the Boo Blaster.
All right, cool. Then, I think I realized it's that process that I just had. I should take this thing down. And then I go, wait a minute. Well, it's mine now.
You remember Dieter looking at Ignis a couple of times. It's just like in a weird, lingering way. You didn't say anything because he's now it's coming together a little bit.
Yeah. Cool.
But everybody packs up That campfire smoke still heavy on everybody's clothes. And you assume that you pop up on Ignis, and everybody rolls on out for the day.
All right.
After a couple hours of traveling, Lucca actually calls you up to the head of the pack.
Sure. Yeah, I'll ride Ignis up and join the High Captain. Hi, Captain. What's on your mind?
Well, there's two things. First off, you work a lot with Seeker Meredith, right?
I suppose. I mean,
you
I
at least hold her counsel fairly regularly.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, she likes to linger in the workshop. I like having her around as someone to talk to while I work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she trained me. Like, all my kind of martial prowess, I entirely attribute to her.
Of course. So the reason I bring it up, and you might have picked up on this, I'm thinking of asking her to step up to be Night Captain when we get back.
Oh. I guess you do leave a vacancy, don't you?
And I can't leave that vacancy for as long as, well, the one that I've been temporarily filling was left. The leadership needs to be maintained, and this is a field promotion that I can do. She's been sitting at Seeker for most of her life at this point, and while she's incredibly good at that, and I, will have to make some other arrangements as well, the reality is that I need somebody with her experience. Do you think she'll say yes?
Question for you, Chase.
Yeah.
Where does Seeker fall in the org chart?
So Seeker is right above Knight.
Okay, so this is a linear promotion up, not a lateral side.
Right, this is her taking the literal next step up.
Because I could see Seeker falling into the same line as like the Rangers and the Listeners, based on sort of the flavor of the title.
Absolutely.
Meredith for Night Captain. I mean, I think the only reason why she'd say no is, well, she's not exactly a spring chicken anymore.
Honestly, part of the reason I want to call her up.
You think so? I mean,
Night Captain, and I think it's a lot more training and desk duty and managing people and whatnot. Okay. Seekers tend to get out there a little bit more, and
I think I could see her being eager about going out on expedition, but at the same time, I think that this could be a necessary sort of wake-up call for her that she's not quite so fit for expedition anymore. She might fight you on it. She might be really itching to go on expedition. I mean, like you said, it's been who knows how long since the Outriders did one, and she loves talking about the old days.
She does.
So I think she'd be good for it. I just don't know if she'll take you up on it. That's the only thing.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. I mean, like I said, I'm asking her regardless. Knowing what other people think kind of helps me have backup plans in mind if I need them.
Sure.
Overcoming the objections and all of that.
Yeah, I think she'd be well suited for it. I mean, yeah, I think I'm a great example of how good she is as a trainer.
Well, there's that, but also
I couldn't fight for shit before meeting her.
That's true. But she didn't exactly teach you to be diplomatic, though. Sometimes that is useful. Which does take me to the other thing. We gotta talk about what happened with you in All Trade.
Oh.
Look, I get it. I do get it. But you can't blast someone like that, especially when they are trying to pay us.
This feels like one of those situations that Captain, I'm totally willing to admit my bad.
Okay.
But at the same time, I ain't gonna apologize.
Well, apologizing to me is only gonna do so much anyways.
I know. And like, High Captain, truly all due respect, you weren't there. He made the situation arguably way worse than it had to be, and put our lives in danger when they didn't need to be. It went tits up purely from his involvement.
And I understand that.
And Cecil was like,
I know.
and I was heated. Been a long time since I've seen someone I care about in straits like that, and I was... No, I lost my head, admittedly, yeah.
Okay. Keep it screwed on straight for me, all right? That's what I need.
All right.
I can't have you... I don't know what that guy's deal is. I don't like it. Unfortunately, he has a lot of people's ears.
Yeah.
Make a perception check for me. Oh, yes.
3.
Okay. You keep riding forward.
I know I chose a low wisdom on purpose. I miss having a high perception. Damn it.
Noticing things is for other people.
It's for the turtle I made, a tortoise I made. See, even I fuck it up, audience. Does Ignis hear anything?
You know what? Roll a disadvantage for Ignis.
For sure. His perception did just go up because my proficiency bonus went up. So my boy's at a +6 for perception at disadvantage. Beans! 8.
Yeah, you move along carefully and quietly. Nothing noticed. Nothing seen. The two of you move along in relative quiet for a little while, just kind of enjoying each other's company. Lucca is older than you by a good measure, but a fine conversationalist and also fine just to kind of ride alongside. As the caravan of outriders rounds a bend of massive trees, you see something that stops everyone in their tracks. Smoke.
Oh.
A massive pillar of it rising in the sky. You realize that campfire scent has hung around too strongly.
Oh. Is this like a forest fire?
Lucca's face is suddenly set in stone as he turns to everyone. That's Loot Home. Outriders, move!
Did he say loot home?
Loot Home.
Like Lute?
Correct. On the word of your high captain, the Outriders break into a practiced and paced run. Lucca's face is set in stone, moving at the head of the pack and holding pace just under a sprint. You hear him mutter, "Oh, it must be huge. It's an hour out by walking. We gotta move."
I mean, does anyone else have mounts? Do we have, like, riding horses or anything like that?
A few people do. You see... give me another perception check real quick.
14.
You see that it looks like a bunch of people are, gathering up and, hopping onto each other's mounts. Specifically, you see Bailey jump into the back of one of the few covered wagons, and you see, a couple other people pulling people up onto horses and whatnot, and everyone is just going.
He's not as fast as a horse captain, but I can ride ahead with Ignis.
Go.
All right, buddy. Let's kick it into high gear. All right. I flip a couple levers and turn some dials, and the internals start chugging a little bit more. Do I have any magic that can help me here? I don't think so. Not in this moment. No, nothing that I have prepared.
You blaze ahead. Even on horseback or tortoiseback takes about 30 minutes to get there. But you do arrive at the base of the smoke. Loot Home is known for being a lovely city, known for instrument craft. Well, it was. Burnt and destroyed buildings line rubble-strewn streets. The main drag of the city leads to what was once a fine town hall that now stands precariously, a smoldering husk. Lucca, as he arrives, wheels around and shouts, "Stewards, look for survivors. Styles, take point. Knights, scout a perimeter. Take the unclassed with you, and I will keep point. Crafters, stabilize that town hall so we can use it as a base camp. Talk.
Aye.
You've got point.
Aye, Captain.
Bailey, go with them for coverage. Survivors are always priority. Clues second, property third. Move."
Survivors, clues, property. All right. Let's go, Ignis.
Ignis stomps through the burnt husks of the streets.
Bailey, gathering his scant few possessions that he needs to do his work, takes up stride along next to you. You've got 4 other crafters, so you have a total of 5 people under your immediate command right now.
Okay. Ha!
You all move towards the town hall. The crafters are the most scant of the crypt's forces, but each of you is fairly well trained for exactly this kind of situation.
Okay.
Picking your way through the rubble, your eyes are drawn naturally to the town hall sitting at the very end of the main drag. Mostly intact, but clearly uninhabitable. It's far from safe to be inside, but that's what you're here for. You and your team step forward to the door. It is not opening. You can't tell if it's locked or if there's something blocking it.
Harper hops off of Ignis and quickly opens the shell, and goes ahead and stashes her spear and her shield in the shell and pulls out 2 other bandoliers of tools. And so has all of her gear, all of her artisan's tools and tinker tools crisscrossed across her chest and around her waist. So I've got all of my tools at the ready.
The full kit.
The full kit, if you will.
I might.
I'm gonna grab my picks and try to open the door, and I'm gonna look to Bailey and like another crafter as I fan out around the other side, see if there's any other points of ingress.
Got it, boss.
Oh.
Bailey takes another one of the crafters with him, and they round the bend.
I will try my picks first to see if it's if the door is just simply locked.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your picks.
That is gonna be a 16.
You get in there, and you do feel something unlatch, but there is still something more. It feels like there is something like blocking the door from the other side.
All right. Everyone step back. Ignis, ram it.
Go ahead and make a strength check for Ignis.
Woohoo!
Or athletics, I suppose, if Iggy is trained in that.
Proficient in athletics.
Let's get that athletics roll going.
He has a +5 to this athletics roll.
Okay.
That's a 15.
That is exactly what I was looking for. Iggy steps back and barrels through the door, and it swings wide, cindering wood splintering as he slides to a stop inside. He looks very cool.
I take a pebble out of my pouch. I'm magical tinkering it and whisper and say into it, Bailey, we're in. And I slingshot it over the building in his direction.
Done. Instantly.
Just trying to calculate where he has made it to at this point.
Yeah, no questions asked. Absolutely.
I'm feeling good on the Artificer style points tonight.
Go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution save. That's a good roll for me. That's a 19.
You are not affected.
Oh, even higher. Sorry, I'm proficient in that. 22.
You, with that higher roll, you see as Iggy stops a wall of smoke coming towards you. You grab the 3 other crafters you have with you by the scruffs of their shirt and pull them down onto your level so that the smoke will pass above them. No one is going to be impeded over the next sections here.
Smoke rises, everyone. Stay low.
You lead your crew in. You find yourselves in this massive burning building. I need you to roll me perception with advantage because you were able to pull everyone down. Everyone has eyes. We're doing a triage check effectively where the actual problems are.
Okay. Perception's gonna be an 11.
Gotcha. With an 11, you can see several major issues going on, really all in one moment. The biggest thing that you're seeing is that there is a massive structural beam that is precariously holding things in place. This beam goes, the entire building is done. On top of that, there is also a fire actively burning at the far side of the building. You can see that's where a lot of the smoke is coming from.
Okay.
You also see that the door, the main door that you just passed through that Iggy busted down, is also about to collapse. It looks like it already started to, and Iggy cleared some of the rubble as they made their way in.
So, like, some of the space overhead from the main door is beginning to fall in.
The archway, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Bailey works his way through a window, and the crafter that is with him also works their way in as well. Both stand to attention. All right, what's the plan, boss?
Ooh, boy. God, I wish I had my alchemy jug prepped. Because I could just have that start pouring water out of it, but alas, I do not. Just taking inventory of my gear real quick.
You're good.
On our way en route to this building, did we spy a well or any sort of like water source?
Yeah.
Is there a river or a stream nearby?
Yeah, there's a well just outside. I
point out the three things. We gotta get that fire out. That beam is our sort of linchpin right now. And we gotta make sure our way of ingress doesn't fully collapse on us. I throw open the shell, and I don't know what the specializations of my other fellow crafters are.
Sure.
But if I have junk inside of Ignis that they can use, it's theirs to use.
Bailey is essentially an ace in the hole. Bailey will take care of one of these problems.
Okay.
Whichever one you want him to handle, whichever one you think the crafters would be least likely to be able to handle on their own, you're pretty sure Bailey will be able to take care of. The other crafters will be making rolls, as will you.
Okay. Bailey, get that fire out.
Got it.
3 of you start working on the arch on the door, making sure that don't fall, making sure the structure overhead stays intact. And I'm going to grab whoever other crafter is to get a little closer with me and just have a sounding board so I can start diagnosing this problem with the beam up above head.
Gotcha.
I think I have an idea, like, if it collapses, I have a way to save it, but I'm trying to figure out how to fix it.
Bailey rushes over to that back room, and you hear him cast Create Water and just start, essentially water bending the fire out. Smoke is billowing thicker, but that means it's working. The other two, trying to keep the paths open, are working on it, but the fires and cinders might even be working faster. It's rough over there. But for you, with that, what are you thinking? You're just trying to sounding board off of this other guy? Or?
So the idea is that is the beam itself burning? Or it just needs more support to make sure it doesn't collapse?
A little bit of both. Like it has definitely been affected by the fire, and you can see there is a crack forming at kind of the center joist.
Above, how high up is it from the ground?
About 10 feet up.
I look to my fellow crafter and say, please tell me you know mending.
I mean, yeah.
I can't reach up there. Ignis, stand here, stand rock steady. Hop up there. Can you reach up there? Otherwise, I'm going to try to rig up a lift or a pulley or something to hoist this person up there.
As you turn and look to this other individual, we're going to roll a die and see what race this individual is to see if they are tall enough. If they're standing on Ignis, they need to be one of the taller races.
Not a halfling, not a gnome, not a
halfling,
dwarf.
not even a human. We're talking Dragonborn or Goliath.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll this D8 on a 7 or an 8.
Okay.
8 is Dragonborn, 7's Goliath. That's a Goliath, baby.
Smalls and talls!
This Goliath crafter... Hold on. I've got to give him a name now. Caraway. Caraway looks at you, looks down at Ignis. You sure they can hold my weight?
Enough for a good mending. Make it good, Caraway.
Gets up there.
Yep.
Hands up. And it's like, can I get a little more up, please? Exactly. The hydraulics engage.
Yep.
Lowrider starts playing.
Meanwhile, I am going to...
Making another perception check.
Sure.
That's what you're going to do.
Advantage or nah?
Yes.
Then that would be a 16.
With a 16, you hear arguably the worst thing you could hear at this time. Coughing.
Oh, shit.
Somebody's in here with you.
Oh, shit, oh, shit, oh, shit. Do I have a beat on the location?
With a 16, you know it's vaguely in the back half, but that's about it.
I'm going to action cast Detect Magic. hoping maybe this person has something magical on them, and I can see it through the smoke through my magnifying glass.
Yeah, go ahead. What's the range on that bad boy?
30 feet.
30 feet.
And it does go through, like, it can penetrate solid objects.
Okay.
A foot of stone, 3 feet of wood or dirt. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You see something. You're not sure what it is. It looks like, I guess it would technically be necromancy. Like a pendant is just kind of like emanating through the smoke.
I think I just kind of wordlessly go in that direction. Go try to find this person.
Yeah, you find a dwarf trapped under a beam that had fallen. One of the few less vital support beams. But yeah, a dwarf, maybe a hair older than Harper.
Oh shit! Hey, we're gonna get you out of here. You hurt?
Yes. Ow!
All right, hold on. Okay, I just read about this.
Hell.
I am going to pull out essentially like a chisel, and very quickly, Harper has an eye closed and is trying to recall something from memory in the book that she's been reading, and carves into the beam a series of mathematical symbols and writes a quick equation out. I cast Reduce on the beam. So the beam is halved in size in all dimensions, and its weight is reduced to 1/8 of normal.
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
That's good. Arcana, 22.
Okay. You write this in such a way that the other things that this beam was supporting do not also collapse in, making things worse.
Legit.
But yeah, this beam goes from being like 10 feet long and, 2 feet deep to being, 5 feet long, just ka-chunk, ka-chunk, and falls to the side harmlessly. You can see that this dwarf is in bad shape. He is making death saving throws as we speak.
Cure wounds. I, pull out the flash paper.
You realize the thing that is actually getting him is the smoke inhalation. He has been in here for so long. Remember, this has been going on for, at least half hour, maybe probably longer with considering the smoke you saw. He has been in here. And even at that low altitude that the two of you occupy, he has been inhaling hot air. So what you do is you put it over his mouth and you light it there, and it pulls the smoke out of his mouth.
Yep. All right, this is going to feel weird for a second.
Okay. Okay. That's it.
All right, can you walk?
I think so.
All right, good. Doors that way, up, stay low, and get out the front door. My people should be holding it up. My people.
And they are, in fact, just rolled for them. Oh, wow. Everybody rolled really well right there.
Nice.
Yeah. Caraway has a hand on either side of the beam, and then you see kind of a telltale shimmer. Their magic has this kind of a bright blue vibe to it, and you can see as they are holding it in place, that blue light bursts, and that beam has a good bit of wooden scar tissue over the center.
Cool.
Bailey emerges from the smoke, hacking and coughing. I think I got it. Whew.
Okay.
We'll do one more check for our friends at the door.
Yeah, how we looking over there, folks?
It's not pretty.
Don't need to be pretty.
It is not elegant, but janky and functional is still functional. And that's honestly the most important thing right now as you rush Caraway out of the burning building and into the fullness of day.
I was going to say, is the beam good? Are we good for that to hold for a little while?
Caraway hops down. It'll hold for a bit. It's going to be tricky. If we're going to camp out in there, we're definitely going to want a little bit more oomph under that.
Yeah.
But at least a temporary wall or something, but it's good for now.
Okay. People, clues, property. Okay. Building standing. Bailey fires out, yeah?
Yeah.
Anyone else notice any other survivors in there? I grabbed one.
No.
Okay. Did anyone
one of the other crafters leans down, a young woman. I found a few bodies.
That was going to be my next question.
There's a few out here too. We should get this guy not around here.
Yeah. Caraway, do you mind?
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you.
Come on. What's your name? Anyway. Addison. Thank you.
Bailey, join me on a quick walk around. I got Detect Magic up. Let's take a look, see if anything stands out. If anyone else notices anything, like tracks or anything, we need to, if possible, let's figure out how this fire started, okay? Don't go inside, though, for right now. Everyone stay outside, just in case. I'm going to do a lap of the building and just look for any sort of, like, magical trails. Sure. If I can glean that a spell was cast. Just trying to investigate.
How long does your Detect Magic go?
10 minutes.
Cool. And so what I'm going to have you do, roll for yourself as well as Ignis. You have advantage on yours because you're using Detect Magic.
Is this perception?
Yes, please.
Okay. My roll with advantage is going to be a 6.
Ooh.
Ignis's roll straight up is going to be an 18.
Cool. What distracts you? What pulls your attention?
It should be the bodies.
It should be.
It's the fact that Harper was given leadership by the High Captain.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that people listened, and she's particularly caught off guard by how quickly she fell into that.
Yeah. The other thing I think that would catch Harper's mind is that even though you just had that conversation with Lucca, there was not a moment of hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that, I mean, he clearly had at least half an hour to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
There was no question in his mind when he said it. There was no, well, it has to be this person. It was you.
Oh, man. Oh.
With an 18, you kind of get lost. You're lost in the sauce a little bit as you're doing the perimeter. Fortunately, life often hands us people that we can offload portions of our brain to. And Ignis is clearly one of yours. And you hear what is becoming a noted mechanical whine. It is the Ignis version of Jinkies.
Shit. Yeah, that snaps me out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot. What'd you find, buddy?
He finds a body.
Ooh.
But it's a weird one. It looks like this one was not taken out by fire and certainly wasn't somebody who lived locally. This person is wearing fine red leather armor. There's no signet on it. There's a pitchfork sticking out of its chest.
Oh.
And with a slight bit more investigation, you find the assailant also quite dead with a, go ahead and make me a survival check.
That's also wisdom based.
It is.
Oh, beans.
Hey, sometimes we don't get to do the things we're good at.
15?
With a 15, what catches you about this clearly farmer who decided to go well above his class and managed a crit in the moment before he died.
The commoner crit.
Exactly. The commoner crit where you get to roll your attack die like 800 times and then you immediately die.
You perish.
Exactly what happened here.
Hey.
What you're seeing is that this person who had killed the farmer had an ungodly amount of strength behind its sword.
Oh.
Ooh. And the person laying before you with the pitchfork sticking out of its chest doesn't have like an incredible amount of apparent strength to them, but you are seeing a demonic energy emanating off of them. Some kind of, I guess it would be an abjuration. Kind of straddles the line between abjuration, evocation, maybe a little bit of necromancy in there too. There's a lot going on with this guy. You're not sure what it is, but you know it's dangerous. You know that this kind of magic can turn a couple of people into a force that could easily match the entire Outrider kit you have here.
You say demonic presence. Mm-hmm. Is the person, like, are they a human? Are they a tiefling? What are they?
Human.
What's their, like, ancestry? Human?
Yeah, okay. Human as far as you can tell. Maybe a little gnomon back in there. And I do want to clarify, demon is speaking more generally. It's more of a fiendish. You can't really get a bead on exactly what it is.
Sure. So my understanding is that, like, they were under the effect of some sort of magic or spell or something or other that, like, gave them stupid demon strength.
Best to your knowledge.
I'm gonna stay here because I basically sent Bailey on the opposite direction.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait for him to find me on this side of things and get his take on this.
Sure.
Hey, like, if I hear him coming, I'll be like, "Hey, Bailey, heads up. Something a little gruesome over here, but I need your eyes on this."
A little gruesome. How much more gruesome could it be? Oh.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
What's your take on all this?
Bailey pukes.
That's not... yeah, okay. You know what? Fair is fair.
After a couple of minutes of heaving, Bailey puts himself back together. Your detect magic has now worn off.
Okay.
And he is looking down at the body. Well, let's see here. Guy stinks to high heaven. Okay.
Yeah, there's something unusual about this fella.
Bailey starts patting the soldier down. And doesn't really come up with much. After a moment, he's like...
You know, sometimes there's, like, pockets sewn inside on, like, the...
Yeah, we'll have to...
The inner lining of the armor.
We'll have to take him back to the crew.
Yeah.
Do a proper search, but... Hey, real quick, just be at the ready just in case. And he takes the pitchfork and pulls it.
I hang on. My weapons are in Ignis still, so I, like, scramble over there and get my gear out.
Nothing happens.
Oh, God.
I mean, I could have just put it back, but, you know, not... Well, I was going to say I'm not as good with these things as that guy is, but you think... I joke. He just throws it to the side. Huh. Not much of an emblem.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do I recognize it at all?
No, it was hard to tell with the pitchfork in the way, but you can see the only emblem on this guy is a single black circle. Dead center of the chest. Yeah.
Not really a well recognizable heraldry.
Yeah, I got a bad feeling about that.
Well, let's, I'll just, like, I was gonna say I'll sketch it, but there's really no point to, I guess. It's a black circle. And we'll have I think we're gonna try to, once we can make sure there's no other tasks for our little squadron here, make sure these bodies get back to, you know, anyone who's relevant so that we can make burial rites happen.
Elijah looks at you as like, hey, can we throw this dipshit on Ignis's back? It's either that or we have to carry him.
Let me get a drop cloth out first.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I don't want to be cleaning blood out of the gears.
That's fair.
I'll get a drop cloth and I'll put a little blanket over it and load this dude up with Bailey on the back of Ignis, lash him down. Ignis, you good to carry this? I know he's heavy, but just a little ways, bud. Thank you. I'll whip up something nice for you as a treat. He likes glass. He's a good tortoise.
The three of you load up and head back to the entryway of the city. And I think that's a good place for us to call it. Thank you for joining us here on Another Path. You can find our website and merch store at anotherpathpodcast.com, on Twitter at anotherpathpod, and our network at ghostlightmedia.net. You can support our efforts by donating at patreon.com/ghostlightmedia or by giving us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcatcher will let you. You can find me on Twitter at TQLoudly and Griffin at GriffCold. You can find me on TikTok at TQLoudly. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a new episode. And until then, remember that you can usually rely on those around you to cover what you can't. This has been a Ghostlight Media production.